You're listening to Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. You've read the stories of the drivers and others involved in the sport that we all love. Now hear their stories firsthand via our all-new podcast to find out how their passion for motorsports has made life worth living.
Okay, so I'm waiting any day now for spring.
Oh, I know. It keeps going from warm to cold to warm to cold.
Well, when is it warm? When have we had warm?
We've had a couple of days where it got to 70 last weekend.
Okay, all right, one day.
We had like 2 days.
Here's my point. Okay, racing is in full swing.
I know. Well, sort of, yeah.
Sort of. I'm used to being able to go outside, enjoy something, and be in something other than a full-blown down parka.
Exactly.
At the end of damn March.
You'd think. We're waiting for the 50-degree weather to go away.
Didn't that little rodent up in Pennsylvania where you can't even pronounce the name of the city and the dudes with the top hats and the weird mustaches and nobody trusts? Didn't they say spring was coming early?
I thought they said that, but you know what? He never gets it right anyway. He's like a weatherman. He only gets it right 50% of the time.
You know, it's just like baseball. To be in the Hall of Fame, you just got to be good 1 out of 3 times.
There you go.
But
I wonder if they have a weather person Hall of Fame.
They're bound to.
And they probably all get it wrong.
You think it's like the Herb Tarlick, WKRP?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Hall of Fame.
Sure, why not?
Weatherman Hall of Fame.
Sure, why not? I mean, they don't exactly have a Hall of Fame for us writers or us radio broadcasters, but hey.
There is a Hall of Fame in the radio wing.
There is in radio, but not in podcasting, not yet, but that's on its way.
It's coming.
Coming.
They're just now getting up to podcast awards.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know how we're going to get one, but we need to get
I don't know, but they don't like us yet. Nobody's, picked up on us yet. We don't have the controversial stuff going on yet.
We don't, and you know what else we need? We need sponsors.
Yes, so if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, it's easy. Just get a hold of Ellen, because, I have this issue with a missing El Camino from 1997. I can't legally take funds from anybody yet, but I do have an alias or two that we won't talk about right now.
Well, none of Chris's alias have anything to do with Racing Junk, so you could still sponsor us. You just sponsor it through them.
Welcome back to Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. That is Lily, Miss Ellen Richardson. I am Chris Tater Young, and interesting weekend. I was up in Martinsville for a couple days, dropping off a camper. Yeah. For my buddy Jeb.
Yeah, and that if for those of you who don't know who he's talking about, because Jeb's not a big name in NASCAR anymore like he used to be. He still is, but he's not as known as he was because he just never got the notoriety that all the other Burton brothers did. But he is talking about Jeb Burton. So anybody who's familiar, I cannot talk, y'all. Anybody who is familiar with the Burton brothers or the Burton family knows all about who Jeb is. So
and it's funny because. Jeb, we dropped off a camper, and there's a little Class C motorhome. Right. Poor old Jeb. Driver's Row, if you know how it is.
Yeah, of course.
All these hundreds of thousands of dollars motorhomes.
Of course.
Beautiful Class A diesels. I come pulling up in a little Leprechaun. It's about the same size as this desk. And I was like, look, this is not a reflection of how you drive or who you are as an individual, okay? We love you. This is just all I had to spare. And it was so funny.
He didn't have his own motorhome? He had to have you bring him one?
Yeah, he had to borrow one.
Oh, my God, what did he do to his? I'm scared to know.
I mean, you've seen the Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Right.
And boy, he ain't got one.
Of course he did.
He ain't got one.
Of course he did. Because, the whole Burton family are all rednecks. Everybody thinks Jeff's not a redneck, but you know what? If you probably saw him in his hometown, he's a redneck. So, he just hides it.
South Boston, Virginia, well, my hometown.
Right.
If you know it and have been there, you know how we talk. Now, I have had professional voice lessons.
And so
which
is
is
Jeff.
why I'm able to talk just like this. Jeff has too, but poor old Ward.
They left him out.
There's no help.
They hid him on the other side of the house.
James Earl Jones and Jesus couldn't help him speak better. I'm gonna say that right now. I love him to death. He is my cousin, but he's out. Mumble mouth, Ward, love him to death. But you know what? Every day I think about him. When I do, I want to hear him do an endorsement for something.
Yes, me too.
And I want it to be something important and serious, I don't know, saw palmetto pills for prostate health.
Yeah, I was going to say something for health would be awesome.
I just want to hear him say it.
I want to hear him read the side effects. Make him sound extra scary. What did he say?
It's like,
what's going to happen to me?
What? Who is this? No, I'm not doing that. So, Tonight, we got a very special podcast.
Yes, we do.
A blast from the past.
Yes.
Because not only are we celebrating the retirement of Rob Gronkowski.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
You know.
I was dying on Sunday, right? Like, I literally drank like 4 beers in like 3 hours because I was like, I can't stand this.
All I got to say is long herald, long live the shirtless dancing on a cruise ship with the movements.
Yeah, but see, I didn't get to be there. I should have been there.
He is so white. He is so white, he should never dance again.
Oh, he's
I understand
awesome.
He's good looking.
He's sexy when he dances. Come on.
Well, it's because he got his shirt off and he looks like the Hulk. He has been pumped full of so many steroids. His brain. I mean, have you heard him speak? You've seen the Tide.
Yes, of
You've
course
seen
I
the
have.
Tide commercial, right?
Yes, of course.
That boy.
Oh, but he's such a good football player. What are we going to do?
He was a good football player, and I hope they put him in a box with somebody like Terry Bradshaw and Bruce Baldinger.
Please let him announce some of the games.
Because
that would be awesome.
I would just be clapping and standing the entire time. I would pay money. That's pay-per-view announcing right there.
Well, as long as he gets up with the headphones on and starts dancing, I'll be happy.
But no, you know what? We've been doing this now 2 years.
Yeah.
And
coming up on our 2-year anniversary. We sure are.
It all started thanks to our buddy Shane Mill.
That's right.
So tonight, we are honored to have Shane Mill join us. He's going to be talking to us about some things going on, but we also have another special guest.
Yes, we do. Shane has been involved with a very important organization that he has let us know about called Adaptive Motorsports. And this organization is doing wonderful things to get people who are not only paralyzed, but also have lost limbs and things like that, who are coming out and are now able to drive a car, even with missing limbs.
Now, we've had disabled drivers before.
Right.
And their story, not only of what they're able to do, which made us feel about 2 inches tall.
Right.
But how they accomplish it and the technology that's involved is just amazing. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to hear from not only Shane, because we haven't spoken to him in a while.
Right.
He's always been in the background.
That's right.
He's the reason we do what we do.
Exactly. This was his dream, and he's going to tell you all a little bit more about that here coming up.
But we're excited to have Brian with us as well.
Yes, Brian Hannaford is the president of Adaptive Motorsports, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his involvement with Shane Mill and their project, and a little bit about what they're doing to help others.
So here in just a few minutes when we come back, you're going to hear from Shane and Brian on a very special edition of Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com.
Attention racers, race fans, and gearheads. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade the stuff that stokes your engine, then check out RacingJunk.com. RacingJunk.com is the world's #1 online racing and performance classifieds, where you'll find what you need to rock your ride. Check us out at RacingJunk.com. Racing and performance classifieds built to go fast.
Welcome back to Behind the Wheel on RacingJunk.com. So now we got Brian Hannaford on the phone, so I'm going to let my friend Lil E, Ellen Richardson, take it away. Lil E, what you got?
So tell us a little bit about Adaptive Motorsports. You and I were talking or emailing back and forth quite a bit lately. Tell our listeners a little bit about Adaptive Motorsports. I'm just finding out about it myself, so I'm excited to find out more.
Well, it actually, the brainchild of it came from Dave Dion. It was back in 9/11/2001. We were doing a driving experience at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and I toyed with the idea of building a handicap accessible car so that people with disabilities could also enjoy the same type of opportunities we all take for granted. And 9/11/01 put a fire under us that we had to get going, because Dave Dion was a NASCAR veteran. He was also a Vietnam veteran. And he said that, his biggest concern is once we find out who's responsible for, all this destruction, the planes hit the towers and everything, that inevitably we're headed for war. Mm-hmm. And his big concern was, once that happens, he hopes the guys that came back didn't come back to the same disrespect that the Vietnam vets came back to.
Right.
And that's when we decided to, go with the handicap car that we, procrastinated about for so long, that it was finally, a sign that of the times that it was time to build it now, because we had guys coming back that needed help getting rehabilitated and reintegrated into society then somebody had to step up, and we didn't think anybody else was in any better position to do that than ourselves.
So why were you so passionate, other than, the deal with 9/11 and going to war and having some possibilities of some soldiers that would become disabled, why were you so passionate about starting this organization versus anything else?
Well, I went from a junior Olympic mile champion to getting in a car crash and not being able to comb my hair naturally the way I was used to, or brush my teeth, or simple hygiene stuff. Everything, every daily task was a monumental task. It used to be, I would think nothing of going out and running 17 miles. But now I couldn't walk out to the mailbox. Now I couldn't get out of bed. Now I couldn't brush my teeth. There were personal challenges that I had to go through, and I was angry at the world because of this, and it had set me back so far. And I met this guy, Cam Shaw Duran. He was shooting pool in a bar. He was in a wheelchair, and he was smiling, he was laughing, and having a great time. So I decided that, I wanted some of what he had, and I got to know the guy. I didn't know if it was something he was drinking or what was going on, but whatever it was, it was something I wanted. And so I invited him up to do a driving experience, and he asked if it was okay if he brought Bodie Miller. And my ignorance back then was like, shit, yeah, bring whoever you want. How else are you going to get there? Bye. Well, he drives and he goes, you never heard of Bodie Miller? And I'm like, no, why should I have? And he said, yeah, he's just on Superstars competition. He won it.
Huh.
And he's from New Hampshire.
Huh.
And I'm like, where's he from? And he goes, he's up around Lincoln. He goes, we grew up there. He says, where did you grow up? And I said, Holderness. And he goes, did you grow up in a cave? So that was our relationship, right from the start. We were like, oil and water. We were from completely different backgrounds and everything else, but we shared some of the same setbacks. And the way he overcame, his setbacks were a lot more positive than the way that I had, adapted and accepted, what had happened to my lifestyle. And I when I said I wanted what he had, I eventually got it, and it wasn't something that you could read about in a book. It was from helping other people. When you're helping other people, it takes the focus of yourself, and now they call it, they got this pay it forward and all that other bullshit. But, with me, it was more like, I wanted to help people see what happened for me. And it was a life change because it was getting out of the self-pity and the poor me's and all that other stuff, and all of a sudden it made it real, and it was something that other people had to experience,
right?
To get the full effect.
Brian,
What
was that like? At first, when did you have that breakthrough moment of reaching that point of, I can't do the woe is me anymore?
It took a while. I recognized it when I went right back and they said I could never play football again. I went back to college football, and I could go to karaoke with a lineman. And that's where it started. I had to do something, to get attention, because I was that student athlete that was always in, always making the news and everything else. I went from there right down the toilet. And, it got to the point where, friends and eventually family and everybody else I had alienated myself from, and life wasn't being fun anymore. So I got to the point where, and it took a lot of years. It took like 15 years. I went through a marriage. I went through all kinds of relationships and jobs and everything else. But it got to the point where I settled back and I looked at what my father had done and what had made him happy, living a simple life and owning a construction company and, working on race cars and, being okay with who he was. And I had to get to that point. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I tried everything. I tried, 12-step meetings. I tried, self-help books. I tried hanging out with, you know, different people in different towns. Nothing worked. You know, it was all an inside job.
Speaking of your dad, who you just mentioned, for those that might not know, Brian, tell us a little bit about who your dad is.
My dad was Harold Hardlock Cannon.
He was a legend in motorsports, correct?
Yeah, he was. He was good friends with Ken Squire. They kind of grew up in motorsports together. Ken was just a, announcer at the Saturday night track. I think you hear him at the Hall of Fame inductions, and he talks about the early days and hiding. The guys start fighting, and he'd hide under the flatbed trucks and watch them all piling on each other and stuff. But back in the early days of racing, you had to have an enforcer on your crew, got to make sure that you didn't get, cleaned out every week. And so my father had a good crew. He had a bunch of guys that worked hard together, and they all knew their roles. There wasn't any rocket engineer, but they all did what they did as well as anyone else, if not better. And my father was a car owner, a driver, motor builder. He did it all.
Wow.
And there's not too many people that did that, especially even back in those days.
What kind of car did he drive?
Well, he was running a flathead Ford open-wheel coupe.
Oh, I love the flathead Fords. I've seen some historic flathead Ford races last year, and I've just been impressed by those cars. So.
Yeah, he had it dialed in. He could get it done. He won the first and third milk bowl at Ken Squire's annual milk bowl at Thunder Road. That was quite a feat, winning 2 in 3 years. And, that was kind of it. He hung up his helmet and took care of family and worked construction. Then he went back and did some crew chiefing and stuff with Ronnie Marvin. And he was a big name back then, too. He was the brawler, the Bethlehem Bombshell. And they had some stories going to Canada and up and down the East Coast. But Ronnie passed, and my father passed last year, but my car is purple in honor of my father.
I llove purple everything. You can ask everybody. Yeah. I have a nickname for it, so.
Her nails would usually be a shade of purple, but now they're like this funkadelic Easter egg looking. I'm getting a headache just staring at the
he don't like my Easter eggs on my nails. He'll be all right. It's got purple in them.
So, Brian, growing up, did you know, when your dad was going through all of this, A, did you know how big and how popular he was? And B, did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
I had no idea. It's like towards the end of his life when I realized, how significant he was as a person away from the track as well as at the track. I mean, he would get up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and plow snow for 48 hours. Back in the day, they didn't have log books or anything like that, but, it's still the same deal at the end of the week. You had to pay the freight for, electricity, food, and all that stuff. And,
right.
He was the one-man wrecking crew. He did all that stuff, and he was, and when he passed away, he made sure that my mom was going to be taken care of, and he always used to say, "You'll miss me when I'm gone."
Thought a lot of himself. Well, you mentioned that motorsports wasn't your original plan or what you were really kind of doing before your accident. What made you kind of go back to that route? Was it because of what your dad did, or was it just something where you wanted to help people that were going through what you went through?
Well, it wasn't anything to do with helping other people. It was always about me. And, one thing I realized was I couldn't be the person I was, and so I had to do something different. And when I looked at, how the simple life that my father lived, even though it was a lot of work, he was happy and he was content being himself. And so that's when I started leaning towards internship with Mike Massaro at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Ken Squire actually suggested that I check that out.
Okay.
And it didn't take long for me to learn quickly that, you know, it wasn't going to be my profession to be writing stories or, you know, doing reporting about, you know, other race car guys, because I was a give me the ball type of guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this driving experience, you know, it was for able-bodied people to begin with. That's what we were doing at New Hampshire International on 9/11/01 when the plane hit the towers.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing a ambulatory driving experience for what was it? It was can't remember the name of it. It was Military Wives Association or something like that. And then when the planes hit the towers, and my guy that, you know, had been in the wheelchair, and I became friends with Cam Shaw Duran, the seat was planted with him, but when the planes hit the towers, that's when it was go time. And that's when we started to modify the car and you know, do things that would benefit other people.
That's awesome.
I love what they do for Wounded Warriors. The
I
fact
know,
that they
it's
let them
great.
get that NASCAR or that stock car racing experience.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, I mean, I'm a veteran, combat veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, you know, I came out better than some of my mates. But, dude, to see what you do for the veterans, when you do it, that's got to feel great.
It does. And to see their faces is magic part. You know, those are the magic moments that, you know, one person, you know, able-bodied person or I don't know if you say, you know, an average person or something might go through lifetime with a couple magic moments, you know, when a kid's born, when they get married, maybe younger when they go on their first date. But when you have the experience of watching these magic moments happen day after day, or, you know, like 4 or 5 times in a day, and then you go to a children's hospital and you watch it happen where the person doesn't realize, you know, it's not just a splash in the pan until all of a sudden they're helping somebody else.
Yeah.
Not by plan, but by the way that I set it up with, you know, success that I'd seen work for others. And they start helping the kids, and the kids start looking up to them like a hero, and all of a sudden they feel like they have a role and a purpose, and you know, might pull them out of the dark spot of alcohol and drugs, suicides, and, you know, all this stuff that are real issues emotionally, outside of the physical setback, are very important, and it, you know, it makes the whole thing worth it.
You got a pretty big event coming up on April 9th, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. We're going to add Shane Meal on real quick, and we're going to talk to you two about this event coming up on April 9th.
I mean, talking about having the son of a legend and son of a legend.
No kidding.
Let's see. We are calling Shane right now, so let's see what happens here.
You better pick up the phone.
You better pick up the phone. He's waiting for us to call. Watch him text us and be like, hang on, I need 5 minutes.
Hello.
There he is. Hey, Shane.
Hey, Shane.
What's up? How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent.
You're excellent. Well, we've missed talking to you.
I haven't heard from y'all. It seems like years.
I know, it almost feels like years. We were talking about at the beginning of the show how this is your brainchild, and we just took the ball and ran with it. So we were excited to kind of celebrate going on 2 years with the creator of Behind the Wheel, because this was your brainchild.
Well, I just thought of something, and y'all actually finished it and have done a really good job and made something that's exciting to listen. Even someone like me that has been eat up with racing my whole life, not just for new race fans, but for race fans that have been involved in it their whole life, you know?
That's right.
Yep. And Shane, not only are we honored to have you back, buddy, we also got Brian Hannaford on the phone with us. We just got finished chatting for just a few minutes about some of the things that he's been doing with Adaptive Motorsports, and which I'm sure is something that you're familiar with.
Oh, yeah. It's super cool what Brian has done, and the possibilities and the opportunities and the chances that he's given me and other people, other veterans, other just injured people. He's made things happen that people wouldn't have ever got to do even if they weren't injured.
Right.
So, he's made a lot of dreams come true. And I think we'll get even more dreams come true if he can get the goals he wants to get done.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Brian, how does that feel hearing that?
That's always special. I know that we had a piece on Fox Sports, Speed TV, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And I stayed and I watched the next episode was about Shane's story. And that's how we came together, because after that I reached out to his mom and I said, we need to get Shane in the race car. It's that time.
Yes.
And Shane's done took that and done some incredible things to get other drivers who, in fact, we talked to one of them that he got back on dirt racing that was on a motorcycle prior to that and became paralyzed, thought he'd never race again. Now he's racing dirt and has even won some races.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
So Shane, the big question, what have you been up to for 2 years, man? Where the hell you been?
Typical me, going to the gym, and I go to the gym and I go to the physical therapist, and one of those years I went to college. I went to Guilford Tech down there and learned some photography.
That's awesome with photography. It's incredible. I've been watching you post photos.
Yeah, I've been flying my drones. That's actually where I'm coming back from now.
Nice.
Raleigh. I've been filming. A friend of mine's doing a big landscaping project, and I've been keeping up with it.
Nice.
And it's something that I'm really having a blast doing. It's like anytime you're in control of something that not everybody can be in control of, that's where I normally feel comfortable.
That's awesome. That's very cool. See, my husband can't even fly a drone. He tried flying it one time, ended up over our fence. It took him 2 hours to find the damn thing. I do not trust him with a drone. Oh, my God.
So we got two sons.
That's in the back part.
Yeah. So we got two extremely powerful characters that are the sons of two racing legends that are doing great things. Where do you guys see everything kind of coming together, and what do you have on the horizon to do? Brian, why don't you take first crack?
Well, I've been up with this kid in California, and he come up with a driving apparatus that I told Shane about, and I'll let Shane talk a little bit more about that. I just spoke with a guy before we came onto the podcast because I didn't want to give any false information, but I got him flying into this event at Southside Speedway, 15 miles from Richmond.
Oh yeah.
And he's going to be bringing a gaming wheel and also a wheel to go in the car that Shane can explain to you about how powerful that's going to be and what an impact that's going to make.
Wow, Shane, what is this wheel, man? Tell me about it.
Well, it's Mario designed it all himself. You can, I saw it on YouTube. You can check it out. Quadriplegic drives race car. It's the throttle is like a motorcycle. It works like a motorcycle, but your hand is in. It's got a grip. It's got a post, so that when you turn it, you're turning the throttle, and it's got handlebars that are shaped, and that's how you turn it, and you push it for the brake.
Very cool.
Push and pull and spin your arm, your right wrist from the throttle, and push and separate the handlebars. I call them handlebars.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes the brakes work. It's a great idea. I mean, that's some of the biggest excitement is I can't wait to see the wheel, and hopefully I'm sure Brian can get it switched over to where I want to try it.
Yeah.
Brian has big goals. Brian wants to. I mean, he's talking with people that we want racing in the Paralympics.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff people can do that are injured, still behind race cars and still behind stuff like that. I think that it can all start with having the right adaptive gear.
Yep.
That is cool.
Now, is this a wheel that's already in production, or is this a prototype that you guys are getting to see for the first time when they come out to Richmond?
Mario is gonna, open up sales on this thing at the end of April. He's gonna call it Mario's Gift to the World on his birthday. But when I told him about Shane and they told him about the NASCAR stuff at Richmond and told him what we're going to achieve and how we had all kinds of media that was interested, Motor Racing Network and ESPN, maybe a Veterans Day special, some big time TV, and all the local stations will be there. He decided that he was going to put a rush on it and try to get it ready for this deal April 9th. But the one thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to, put something out before it's time and put a bad mark on it right from the get-go. He's going to make sure that, it's straight tested and vibrations and all that stuff, crash tested, the whole bit. And if it's ready, we'll use it. If not, we've got the simulator that people will see what, how it works and the whole bit that way.
And this is a pretty big event coming up on April 9th. It's going to be at Southside Speedway. We will be there live. So tell us a little bit more about what's happening. I know there are some special people coming out. They're going to have a chance to test the simulator and that kind of thing. Tell us a few more details, as well as how Shane is going to be involved in the event. And Shane, you can tell us why you wanted to get involved in the event as well.
Well, Shane's going to be a big part of the event because, something as simple as motorsports, you think it's easy watching on TV, you turn left to go fast, blah, blah, blah. But there's so many things that have to happen in order and sequence and stuff like that. And we're going to have Shane making sure that we're, he's going to be our coach through the whole deal. And I'm not talking just a driving coach. I'm talking about an operations coach where if he notices something, we got to switch or we got to check the air in the tire. Somebody just missed it and didn't do it. Stuff like that. Getting people strapped in right, getting them adjusted, the whole bit. So Shane's a real big part of it. And there was a guy that was going to try to make it down. I talked him out of retirement, but his wife's in a wheelchair and he can't get away. His name's Dave Baskin, and Dave Baskin was the chairperson on the International Paralympic Committee, and he developed the Disabled Shooting Services that started in one VA hospital in Brockton, Mass, and went international and became a Paralympic sport. So I called on Dave to, help in another area, just like Shane's helping in one area, Dave's helping in another area, to develop this virtual game driving experience into Dave Baskin's Virtual World Adaptive Driving League.
Wow.
And we're going into VA hospitals, we're going into hospitals like we'll cut Shane loose when he's going to do some rehab and stuff like that down at Shepherd, introduce it to them. He's our guy. He's going to have a role in this whole deal.
That's a great way to get it to the Paralympics. That's
yeah,
for sure.
That's definitely, yeah. So, how many veterans will be at this event?
We'll have 10 vets. We've got the last guy to commit was the guy that I wanted the most. His name is Lewis, and Lewis is triple M amputee.
Wow.
I lost both legs and an arm in Afghanistan, and when they took his limbs, it also blew his eardrums out. So
Oh my goodness.
he just had his ears operated on, and right now the slung's gone down enough in his face so that we can get a helmet on him. So Louis Rosa, he's coming. We've got World War II vets from both ends of the East Coast, one from Port Charlotte, Florida, who lost his leg to a German shell. We've got another guy visually impaired who's in the Guinness Book of World Records because last year he rolled a car from wheel to wheel at 94 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's coming down. We've got some hot dogs. We've got a guy who's the only single-leg amputee motorcycle instructor in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's right around Richmond area, Fredericksburg, I think. We've got
Longwood.
we've got a guy from Atlanta, Georgia. He's coming. He's currently at Walter Reed, getting some adjustments made, double-leg amputee.
Wow.
We got a guy who's got he was a motorcycle rider, and he's got these track chairs that help people get outside and go fishing, go hunting, that type of thing. They're on tracks, and they're a pretty neat deal. So he'll be coming down. I mean, we got guys from San Diego. We got guys from all over the country. So there's no reason that AP don't look at this and say, "Hey, man, this is going to sell some newspapers."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was
no
going to say,
kidding.
there has to be some coverage for this.
Oh,
Surely
yeah,
TV
absolutely.
and everything is all over it.
Yeah. It's good. I think it's going to receive some great coverage. He's invited a lot of the media out, so I think we're going to get some great coverage. And we're excited to be and honored to be asked to come out as well. So it's going to be a great event. I can't wait to talk to some of these veterans. Brian, I was sitting here making some notes so I know who to talk to during this event because I can't wait to meet these
That is
veterans. I'm just so
amazing.
honored
That
to
is
get
absolutely
invited to this.
amazing.
Yeah. So, and, there's races all over the country, things like that. I mean, you all are staying tuned to Racing Junk. You know the type of races we cover and things. This is something we've never had an opportunity to do. This is something completely different. So you all definitely need to be tuned in on April the 9th. Make sure you're following our Facebook page because I'm going to be doing some live video feed. It's going to be great. I mean, we're just completely excited about this because this is just something we've never had an opportunity to do. So.
Now, Brian, I know that you have a Facebook page. What is it?
The Facebook is Brian Hannaford, but if you want to go to the web, that's where the best stuff is. That's accessibleracing.org. That's accessibleracing.org.
And I know Adaptive Motorsports has a great Facebook, too. I was checking that out earlier. Some of the videos are really good. Plus, you get to see the purple car.
Yeah, which, I'm in love with that color purple. That's my favorite color purple. I love it. I'm going to take a picture next to the car because it's purple.
Okay, so we got the April 9th event coming up. That's going to be amazing outside of Richmond. And we got this wheel. That sounds fantastic. I can't wait to see that Mario's got put together. So, guys, after that's said and done, what's next? What's coming up on the horizon?
Well, one of the things I'm working on right now is in line with the 3-day bike ride parades and the 3-day walk for breast cancer. The Dan Pilata, those are the brainchilds of Dan Pilata. And so I looked at that and I decided that, hey, you know what? We're going to spin the third strike here. And it's going to be an online gaming competition where people will drive competitively with iRacing. But it's not going to, be any head-to-head competition or anything like that. People will have a 3-day weekend to complete as many laps as they can.
Nice.
Now, whoever gets sponsored, like say somebody gets sponsored by $5 a lap and does 1,500 laps, they're probably
leave your name and number, and I'll call you back.
Sorry about that, Brian.
Hang on. Since we're doing the
At the tone,
podcast,
please
let's go ahead and leave
record your
Shane a message.
When you have finished
We lost Shane, so we're calling him back.
Watch this. Watch it.
Hey, baby, I know you left your hat over here. I'm just waiting for you to come back and pick it up. I know, you said you was going to pay me for last night, but that's okay. You can just get me later.
There we go. He'll
What
love
the
that.
hell is that?
Chris likes to leave these guys funny messages when we get their voicemail.
I love to try to get people in trouble, Brian. That's kind of my thing, and hopefully that'll teach Shane not to hang up on us while we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shane said he lost us, so.
Yeah, no, he was traveling, unfortunately, so we lost him. We'll try to get him back.
Yeah, we'll get it back here in just a few. But
But,
Chris likes to leave funny voicemails, so if you don't answer when we call, just a warning, he leaves weird voicemails.
Yeah. Sorry about that in advance. So a 3-day virtual. Brian, this sounds amazing, too. When is this again?
Well, this is going to kick off at Richmond Speedway, and we'll have everything set up with, a big screen and shooting video at it. We'll have Glenn Sullivan doing the MC where Kim and this guy, George Dodo Brockman, he donated a car to me, and then he told me about somebody else that just donated 2 more cars to me, so that puts us up to 4 cars. But they're all, those guys will all be in the booth and stuff, and talking with people, and we'll be doing some neat stuff, like we'll be giving people, like with the AIDS bike ride and the breast cancer walk, they have personal pages that connect to a main hub. And so what we'll do is we'll sell somebody, if somebody makes a $50 donation, they'll get a free web page to raise money to qualify for the event that we're going to have in the fall.
Done.
Either that and also get a complimentary team shirt.
Brian,
So-
how do you find time to do all this stuff, man?
Yeah, no kidding. It keeps him pretty busy, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it does. And the last 6 weeks I've been on a roar where I've been up till 2:30 in the morning and back up at 8. And
Goodness gracious.
last Sunday I just crashed and burned a little bit. And had some medical stuff taken care of, and now I'm back on track, ready to take names and get her done.
Yeah.
Right on.
So how do organizations get involved with Adaptive Motorsports, like the Wounded Warrior Project and things like that? How do they get involved with you all?
Well, we're going to have different levels of sponsorship that are associated with individual pages. And if they want to get involved for the same amount of money, whether it be Wounded Warrior Project or Walmart stores or VFW posts, whatever the case may be, veteran service organizations, the whole bit, can get their own page, raise their own money. It's friends asking friends, business associates, that type of thing. And, at the end of the contest, whoever's done the best job raising funds, it's not like one winner, it's going to be a bunch of winners.
Nice.
Because if you pass that plateau of, say, $2,000, you're going to get a driving experience. But if somebody only gets, say they only get $500, well, those racetracks got a lot of empty seats, and if we can't get something with NASCAR, we'll go to SCCA or NRA or somebody else.
Everybody
Yeah.
will jump on it.
Exactly.
They're idiots not to. Speaking of, is there anything that you guys need right now? Are there any organizations that you'd like to call out for, or, what does Adaptive Motorsports need for the next big venture?
Geez, that's a good question. We've been working on rooms right now. The one thing was, traveling down and back. That's the one thing that we haven't addressed yet. I mean, I've got calls out to Walmart. They've got gift cards and stuff like that for us to pick up, but I just haven't had a chance to go running around and nickel and diamond stuff. We had one VFW up St. John's Ferry, Vermont that donated the first $1,000. So, that was good to get us going. But, when it comes time to come down and do the show, if these guys don't come through with the gas money and stuff, that's going to come out of $1,000. And we hate to have that happen, because then it's all, based on, how the popularity of the online fundraising experience powered by Blackbot. It depends on how successful that is on whether we get home for Easter.
What are y'all your organization's main costs that you all have to cover, and how can organizations get involved in covering those costs?
Well, one of the big ones is insurance and track rental.
Yeah, I bet so.
We've got, and where we get people from all over the country, I mean, we've got some pretty hefty travel expenses. And the problem is, when you got one guy who's triple M amputee, and he's trying to board an airplane, he can't go by himself. He needs an assistant with him. But then you get to the track, and all of a sudden the assistant is supposed to go away, and, the triple M amputee is supposed to find his way. That doesn't work for us.
Right.
It's like the simplified, never leave your buddies behind. So, there's a lot of the guys that are still married that have a significant other or a family member that that doesn't get paid for, that we have to come up with the money for that. And obviously we don't charge them for anything. So the room charges, the transportation, the track rentals, the insurance, every little bit helps. It goes towards, helping these guys get on track and experience that magic moment. Once they've experienced it, and before it's sunk in, we take them to either the Children's Hospital or the VA hospital, so it really resonates with them and leaves a lasting memory.
Right.
Those are costs that you don't see pop up either.
Right.
So if we have some groups that are listening now to the podcast that could, that want to help out, and I'm sure we will, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
I would say go right to the website, successfulracing.org, and that'll give you a tax-deductible donation slip or a letter of donation. That's why I did the whole thing with Blackboard. They charge you a little bit of an expense as far as percentage of donations and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's all tracked, and I don't have the headache at the end of the year of trying to say, well, I don't know where that came from.
Right.
We got a paper trail, so, and that's important with anybody. I mean, I've seen some other veteran organizations that were accused of spending a lot of money outrageously, and I know the two founders of the Wounded Warrior project, John Melia and Woody Groton. Woody Groton's on our board of directors. If nothing else, he's our enforcer to make sure that we don't go down the wrong path. We've got some really good people. We got him. We've got the guy from L3 Communications out in Salt Lake City, and provide driving software for municipal authorities all over the country, in addition to teen driving education in Arizona. So I've talked to them about going out and training on their simulator so that I can come back, and these hospitals that host our league competition, I'll be going to some of the hospitals, but I'll be bringing the driver training with me too, so that we can provide driver training for newly injured at a fraction of the cost of going racing, like $135 an hour. And we'll chop that in half.
That's nice. That's something you all are doing in Richmond as well, right? You're going to a hospital with the vets that are coming in, correct?
Yes. I've been trying to get through to Hunter Holmes. We had a little issue with a guy from Seattle that had worked for us before when he was at New York University Medical Center, and he got the bill at New York University Medical Center for $1,500. Somehow he thought it went down in value to zero when he was in Seattle, and he called us a veteran service organization. He was kind of like the Bernie Sanders campaign manager, free. And I'm like, stay home, save your airfare. We don't need you.
Right.
So.
Goodness. So what are you all going to be doing at the hospital? Just visiting patients, or?
Well, not so much visiting patients. It's more or less, educating patients. Like,
Gotcha.
This is what's available. You can either stay where you are, or you can, step up into the fourth dimension and, take action on where you're at, what you can do, accept the limitations, but explore a new life.
Right. That's awesome.
Right.
Well, y'all are doing some great things. I'm impressed.
Yeah, Brian, this has been an absolute honor. Thank
Yes.
you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for sharing your experience and your journey with us. We can't wait to see what happens in Richmond on the 9th. I know Ellen's going to be there.
Yes,
I'm going
I'll
to
be
try
there.
to make it up there. That's going to be, that's my old stomping ground. So
Yeah.
I'll try. But, dude, please stay in touch. We'd love to chat with you after the event is done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the follow-up is the biggest part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear. And it's going to be media
Oh, yeah.
all over this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's
come
going to
on.
be a great event. We're
It
really
is gonna be
excited.
great. Well, Brian, good luck, man. You're doing yeoman's work. Continue with it. I know you got a lot to do, so thank you for taking the time with us this evening to chat. And good luck with the 9th, man. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, and lastly, there is one more thing that we're really in need of.
Sure.
To get this out to AP and, different media outlets and stuff like that. I know you guys kind of want to put your DNA on it and your fingerprints and say this is, we got this ball rolling, but we'd love for you guys to be like our media campaign managers or whatever the case may be. Something to consider.
Yeah, we'll do everything we can to make sure we help you promote this product because it's amazing.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's an easy sell.
Yeah.
All day long, that's an easy sell.
Chris is the promotions deal, so he'll get it out there.
Yeah, that is an easy deal. Yeah,
Everybody
we've been sitting
knows
here
Chris.
taking notes, so it's kind of, man, I can't wait to see where you go from here.
Yeah,
I really
it's going to be
can.
amazing.
It is. So, Brian, we absolutely will help out whatever we can, and we'll look forward to catching up very soon. And, obviously, if you need anything, just let us know.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this is a great show for you. I hope it gets some popularity, and I hope you do a good job editing so my Sims and Haws come out of it.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, Brian, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks again. Hey, it's Chris. So this next bit of the podcast where we call Shane, the audio, it's not great. But he's a busy man. He's in his car, so he's very hard to hear. So let me just give you the gist of it. Shane is freaking awesome. He is always traveling, always doing something new and exciting. He's going to be doing photography, and sometime soon, someone who listens to this podcast is going to get a chance to win a trip to the Indianapolis 500. Yep. You want the details? Hang on. Okay, so let's try to get Shane back on the phone.
Hello.
Hello? Where'd
Shane,
you go?
Hey, what the hell? I don't know what happened.
I don't either. Gotta love technology.
Did you like my voicemail message?
I didn't even.
I was gonna say he hadn't listened to it. He's driving.
Just make.
I'm driving. I don't want to be touching buttons.
That's
right.
right, exactly. Just make sure when you listen to it, all your family and friends are gathered
Oh my
around.
God! Don't be around anybody else when you listen to it, Shane. I apologize. Please don't be offended. You know how Chris is. God, you're gonna get me fired off the show, Chris.
Well, I mean, Brian.
Did y'all get it finished up?
Yeah, we did. We finished with Brian, and we thought we'd give you a call back so we could finish your interview.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so, Brian did a great job explaining everything, talking about the event. So, Shane, we appreciate you joining us, my man. No, seriously, though, besides school and doing all the photography stuff, you got to be excited about the event coming up April 9th.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how you're going to be involved with that event and why you wanted to get involved.
Well, I don't know. It's probably been up to probably 5 or 6 years now. I got to drive this car for Brian being at Rockingham. And Andy Hillenberg let us have the track so we could go drive and mess around. I averaged over 100 miles an hour that day.
Wow.
Me and Brian made contact. He kept his head down and chasing and trying to get everything worked out so that he can get his goals reached.
Right.
Get closer and closer. With the event on April 9th, the 10 vets that are coming, I'm excited that I get to be the part cars. I'm gonna help tell them how to get around the track, how to make sure they're buckled in safely, how to, have fun. That's my number one goal, to have fun.
Right.
So we got to get them to have that. And let people have fun and enjoy it. Got to thank the Southside Speedway for letting us do it. I've never made me laps around the Southside, so it's making me good.
I was going to say, are you going to take a part and do some laps around the track as well?
Oh, yeah. They're gonna, if there's a car where a handicapped guy can drive it,
right,
I'm definitely getting in it.
I thought so. I just thought I'd make sure. So why did you want to be a coach at this event?
Say again?
Why did you want to be a coach at this event?
Oh, well, just because the simple fact of being able to see people that are getting to do something that we might have never even got to do before they were injured, even with their life perfect as they thought, everything going well, they would have never got to drive a race car. Now they're all going to get a chance to drive it at a famous old short track where lots of really good racers have come from. So,
Right.
just being a part, having a connection, I like talking to people.
Right.
I couldn't have any more fun than talking to people that have gone through or going through the same fight that I go through.
And, I mean, you've helped some other drivers get back to driving, even though they've become paralyzed. Do you see yourself doing more with that, with adaptive motorsports in the future?
I would for sure. I am about to start going iRacing.
Cool.
Our guys built a set of wheels, 10 little rings around it so I can brake and gas. And then Mario's wheels. The wheel that Mario Brian talks about is amazing. If there's something like that, if we get that on production line, I'm for sure getting one of those. Just for the simple fact that it fits into my body. And it's built just for someone that is just like me. Knows exactly what it's trying to say.
Right. Shane, can you speak up just a little bit, sweetie?
Yeah, all right. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you much better now. What were you saying about Mario's wheel?
Well, Mario's wheel is just so much better than anything I've seen. I'm really wanting to try it out just for the fact that I believe that, someone will be able to race with that wheel. He already does it, but there's going to paralyze people, quadriplegic, that are going to get to race with those spin wheels. And then he's going to make one for the video game, too.
Nice.
iRacing, PlayStation 4, Xbox, all that.
Nice. So he's involved with them as well. That's really cool. Fall over.
I don't know exactly where he's at on the track for getting it all done, but what I hear, he's really close.
So, Shane, have you seen anything like this before? I mean, there have been other drivers that have created things and patented things. Where does this wheel rank, in your opinion?
Oh, this is for sure one of the trickiest wheels I've seen.
Cool.
I mean, if you can picture a lightweight, little bitty, say, 18-inch wide, little bicycle handlebar.
Huh.
And one throttle, and on the right side is the throttle, and you grip it, and well, when you pull down, that's where the first lever is that lets you knuckles in on the front so that you push down with the bottom of your hand. And that makes the throttle. And then shit, I didn't even look at the brakes. Who cares about the brakes?
Yeah, brakes not needed in racing. Yeah, well, why'd even put it on there?
You just push forward on the brakes, and that pushes it, and that makes everything work. That pushes the master cylinder. It's a great idea. From the video, if anybody gets a chance, check out quadriplegic that race. Quadriplegic race cars out there.
Nice. So
it's pretty awesome.
So Shane, two more questions, my man. What's next for you on the horizon, and when are you going to come join us in studio?
Well, I need to come join y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Now that y'all got, good following and good showing, and always, like to come spread some, I don't know if it's knowledge, but it's at least some shit.
That's some shit.
But next thing I've got going on is I've got it all put together. I'm giving away a weekend for 2 people to the Indy 500.
What?
Everything. They're going to go to the Hoosier 100 Silver Crown race the night before, or the 500, whichever they want. They're going to have good seats for the 500, and going to get some chances to go down in the garage and look at some of the cars and stuff like that. So I'm excited to get that kicked off. Y'all are the first ones to hear it.
Wow.
Because it's going to be a real exciting weekend. I'm calling it Road to Indy Weekend. And I just, Levi Jones told me, he said, Shane, you've always been able to make it where people have fun. You know where to stay. You know where to go. You know what places to sit and watch the track. This and that. You got to put something together for somebody. And luckily I got a bunch of merchandise from Dale Jr., Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, a couple of guys that let me put that on. It's not yet, but that's all going to be on eBay and selling it on websites and stuff like that. And that's what's going to pay for this weekend.
Wow.
Wow.
Shane, that is awesome, man.
Yeah. So you're going to send me and Chris, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's our foray of you coming back to the podcast. We get to go to the Indy 500 weekend, right? Is that right?
As well, right? Just put the corner between now and I guess just because of
That's funny.
Shane, that is awesome, man. Dude, we can't wait to get more details on that.
We can't wait to get more details. We'll definitely share it with the listeners when we get more details on that when I see you on the 9th.
Yeah,
All right, well, Shane, buddy, thank you so much for joining us, my man. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're en route, so we will get up with you soon, and I can't wait to have you back in studio and see you in person, brother.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks, Shane.
You're the reason we're here, brother. We'll look forward to catch up with you soon.
So what I picked up was we are going to go to the Indianapolis 500.
I know, because I'm sorry. He said he's giving a couple's trip to the Indy 500, but you know what? Chris and I can just go. He doesn't have to give it to anybody. He just give it to us.
I mean, we did the podcast for him.
Thank you. We started. This was his brainchild, but we took off with it. Come on, you owe us this much.
We should go.
I want to go. It's on my bucket
Plus,
list,
it's
man.
the Friday night race, the Saturday race, and the Sunday race.
Exactly. I want to see the driver drink the milk at the end. Are you kidding me?
I got friends in Indianapolis.
I'm saying.
I can't stay with them, and I probably owe them money.
You'd have to hide from them.
I'd have to hide from them, but
we got a place that if things go down, we could potentially go. I'm just saying.
Man, I'm ready to go. I mean,
Wow.
What are you talking about? You're giving it away. You should have just called me and said, hey, you want to go to Indy 500?
I mean, okay, so we start off with Brian. And by the way, we apologize for the technical difficulties. You know how it is when you're dealing with all these celebrities.
That's right.
Wow.
You got to love cell phones because they don't always come through as clear as we'd like.
What a story that Brian has.
I know.
I
It's
can't wait
amazing.
to see. All right, I'm going to try to make it to that event on the 9th.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll
if I
be
can't.
there. It's okay. I'll be there.
You know
I
how
got
I
you covered.
am.
I know.
You know how I am.
I know.
You know, I got all of them. What are they called? Because, when I go out, I get mobbed because of my celebrity status.
He says he has groupies, but I've never seen them.
No, it's not groupies. It's warrants. Yes, I got all those warrants.
That's true. Now
Yes.
that I knew about.
Yeah. So I can't really go many places. But
Yeah.
April the 9th, right outside of Richmond, that's going to be
Southside
awesome.
Speedway.
Southside Speedway is
It's
going to
be
awesome.
amazing. Yes. I'm excited to meet all these veterans. I mean, you got guys from World War II. You got guys. I mean, this guy who's talking about who's a triple amputee.
And his eardrums were blown out.
I know, right? From
That's-
Afghanistan. I mean, this could be such an honor to meet him, and the fact that he's going to be able to drive a car, even though he's a triple amputee, that's
Right.
amazing.
That's going to be something that, I mean, if you think about it at the end of the day, yeah, we enjoy the thrill of the sport. We enjoy the thrill of the race, the chase that's involved in it.
Right.
But what he's doing for people,
Exactly.
that's holy crap, man. And this steering wheel, this Mario guy's invented, and now he's going to be tied into video games, and Shane's getting involved. He's going to be doing operation. This is
Yeah.
going to be some big stuff.
Yeah, I bet when Shane had his accident and woke up from a coma a month later, he had no idea that this was going to be his life. He probably thought,
Yeah.
well, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these amputees are probably thinking when they wake up, or people who have become paralyzed, that kind of thing. From whether it's, a military veteran who's become paralyzed or an amputee, or if it's just somebody who's been in a bad accident, like Brian. I mean, it's got to be, I have no idea what that feels like to wake up the next day and go, where's my life going now?
Yeah.
And the fact that Brian has done something positive like this, Shane has done something positive like this, where
Yeah.
their lives could have completely fallen apart. I mean, Shane
They could have
was-
just said, you know what, screw it. This is all, I deserve all this.
Yeah.
Instead, they turn around and they
Shane
do
could have
all
said
these
that.
things.
I mean, look at what happened with him. I mean, he got involved with drugs when he was with NASCAR because
Yeah.
he had no idea he had a mental thing going on, and it was left untreated. So what did he used drugs to treat it, and he was one of the only drivers who have been completely banned from NASCAR. His whole life could have gone down the tube from there.
Yeah.
But see, he didn't let it. Even after becoming paralyzed, he could have gone back to drugs, but
Yeah.
he didn't do that.
No.
And the fact that he's doing something so amazing now and getting involved with such an amazing organization, Brian could have done the same thing when he had an accident,
And I get upset when the alarm goes off in the morning.
right? And I get mad when my cell phone reception goes out when I'm driving down the road.
Yeah.
I'm talking on the phone. I mean, it's or when my favorite football player decides he's going to retire.
I'm so glad about
I was
that.
so upset on Sunday,
I'm
y'all.
so
have no
glad
idea.
over that. That's just, let me tell you what.
No.
The next one up is Tom Brady and his Ugg boots.
No,
So,
Tom's not going anywhere.
so what's the website again?
AccessibleRacing.org.
.org. If please.
And he spelled it out for y'all, so you should have.
Yes. Or just Google Adaptive Motorsports and Brian Hannaford. Please go support these guys. This is
Yes.
going to be a tremendous organization. It is already, and they're doing tremendous things. And
Yes.
hopefully we can spread the word. You can help
Yes.
spread the word.
Yes.
And once again, kudos to you, Lil E, for doing an amazing job of lining these guys up.
Yeah.
We got a good year planned out. This is
Yes,
gonna
we
be
did.
fun.
We were talking about some additional guests coming up tonight,
Yeah.
so stay tuned, and hopefully we'll have some more exciting announcements to come.
Yes.
And be sure to follow us on Racing Junk's social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'll
Mm-hmm.
be doing a lot of live feed from Southside Speedway on April the 9th, so make
Yes.
sure you follow.
Yes, and we're also going to incorporate a new segment called Ask the Little Expert.
Yeah, that's something Chris
E
wants to do.
being there.
I don't know about all that.
If you got a question or you got a comment, ask it. And
I'm
our
s-
very own expert, Ellen Richardson, will answer your questions. All you got to do is just contact us, just, racingjunk.com. Behind the Wheel, obviously subscribe to the podcast. You can follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, the book face, chat snaps, the whole nine.
The book face.
All of it. Just, look for racingjunk.com, look for On Air Tater. Do you want to give out yours? You don't. No, you don't feel comfortable doing it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You'll be getting stalkers.
No, well, I hope not. I don't know why anybody would want to stalk me. Yeah, if you want to just send any comments to me on Twitter at Ellen N, as in Nancy Rich, send them on. I don't know about calling me an expert. Chris makes me nervous calling me that. I am not an expert
Let me tell you what,
at
anything. That girl know more stuff than she need to know. And I know, old Bobby down there, Sophia. He likes you. He's always hanging around the grease pits trying to find you.
That's
true.
Yeah, I keep trying to hide from him.
Yeah.
He scares me.
I've never seen. How does that man get his hands on so much Milwaukee's Beast? I just don't understand.
I don't even know where he finds it anymore.
I don't know how he gets it into these places. It's got to be. So he does not own a shirt that fits either. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of Behind the Wheel here on RacingJunk.com. And please, go support Adaptive Motorsports, Shane Mills, Shane Sparks.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you guys next time. For Lil Lee, I'm Chris Tater Young. We'll see you next time.